Let me ask you something. Have you ever been crushing your workouts, eating right, lifting heavy, but still not seeing the results you want? You're consistent in the gym, you're tracking your calories, you're pushing through the pain, and yet, your muscles aren't growing the way they should. You feel tired, unmotivated, and maybe even stuck. Here's the truth. Most fitness enthusiasts don't want to admit the number one reason you're not growing, the reason your hard work might be going to waste, isn't your workout or your diet. It's your sleep. Yes, you heard that right. Poor sleep can literally destroy your gains, no matter how perfect everything else is. And in this video, I'm going to break down the exact science of why you'll learn how bad sleep wrecks your muscle growth, slows down fat loss, crushes your energy levels, and even messes with your brain. And most importantly, you'll learn what you can actually do to fix it. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll realize that sleep is not just rest. It's one of the most powerful anabolic tools you'll ever have in your arsenal. Why sleep is the missing link. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle. Sleep when you're tired. Rise and grind. Stay up late, get up early. The problem is, when you treat sleep like an afterthought, your body treats your fitness progress like an afterthought too. Let's get one thing straight. Building muscle and losing fat is stressful to the body. Lifting weights literally breaks down your muscles. Dieting creates stress on your metabolism. Intense cardio taxes your nervous system. These stressors are necessary. They force your body to adapt. But adaptation doesn't happen in the gym. It doesn't happen while you're grinding. It happens while you sleep. Without sleep, your body never fully recovers. Your hormones get out of whack, your muscles don't repair properly, and your performance nosedives. So while you might think you're putting in the work, your lack of sleep is silently undoing it. And here's the scary part. Poor sleep doesn't just slow down your gains, it actively reverses them. You'll lose muscle, gain fat, and feel weaker over time, even if your workouts and nutrition are spot on. So if you're serious about transforming your body, you can't ignore sleep. It's not optional, it's not negotiable, it's essential. The science of sleep and muscle growth. When you think about building muscle, you probably picture lifting heavy weights, eating lots of protein, and grinding in the gym. But the real magic, the actual rebuilding and strengthening, happens when you're asleep. Think of your body like a construction site. During the day, you're breaking things down, lifting weights, creating micro tears in your muscles, burning glycogen, and stressing your nervous system. At night, while you sleep, your body sends in the repair crew. That's when it rebuilds muscle tissue, replenishes energy, and balances hormones. Skip sleep, and it's like firing half the construction crew. You'll never finish the building. Sleep is also the single biggest regulator of your hormones. Testosterone, the king of anabolic hormones, is produced mostly during deep sleep. Just 1 week of only 5 hours per night can lower testosterone by 15%, which is the equivalent of aging 10 to 15 years. Growth hormone, often called the body's repair fuel, is released in its highest amounts during deep sleep, about 70% of it in fact. Without enough sleep, you cut off this vital stream of growth and repair. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is also influenced heavily by sleep. When sleep is poor, cortisol remains high, and that environment breaks down muscle and stores fat. On top of that, poor sleep throws off insulin sensitivity and hunger hormones. Your body becomes less efficient at using carbs for energy and more likely to store them as fat. Leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, drops, while ghrelin, the hunger hormone, spikes. That's why after a night of bad sleep, your cravings go through the roof and it's nearly impossible to stay on track. And it's not just hormones. Deep sleep is when protein synthesis, the process that turns the protein you eat into actual muscle tissue, reaches its peak. Without enough of it, your body doesn't repair fully, your glycogen stores remain low, and you feel weaker in your next workout. Your nervous system also relies on sleep to reset. When it's under-recovered, reaction times slow, coordination suffers, and strength feels off. That's why after a short night, the barbell feels heavier than it should. Athletes know this instinctively. That's why many pros treat sleep as a training tool. Roger Federer has been known to sleep up to 12 hours a night. LeBron James reportedly sleeps 8 to 10. They know their bodies only perform as well as they recover. So, sleep is not just rest. It's when your hormones align, your muscles rebuild, your nervous system resets, and your brain consolidates everything you've practiced. Miss it, and you miss all of that. How poor sleep destroys gains. Now let's look at the darker side. What exactly happens when you consistently don't sleep enough? The first thing to understand is that poor sleep doesn't just slow down progress, it actually reverses it. Instead of building up, your body starts breaking down. When sleep is cut short, your body enters a catabolic state. That means muscle breakdown increases while muscle building decreases. You might still be lifting, eating your protein, and working hard, but your body isn't putting those nutrients toward growth, it's burning them for survival. Over time, this leads to smaller, weaker muscles despite all your effort. At the same time, poor sleep makes fat gain more likely. Your hunger hormones go wild, making you crave high-calorie junk food. Leptin, the fullness signal, drops, while ghrelin, the hunger signal, rises. On top of that, your insulin sensitivity drops, meaning your body is more likely to store carbs as fat rather than burn them for fuel. Most of this extra fat piles up in the belly area, which is also the hardest to get rid of. High cortisol adds another layer of damage. This stress hormone stays elevated when you don't sleep, eating away at muscle tissue, lowering testosterone, and encouraging fat storage. That's why after a string of bad nights, you feel both smaller and puffier. Performance also nosedives. After poor sleep, weights feel heavier, endurance fades quicker, and focus is harder to maintain. Research shows that athletes who are sleep deprived can lose up to 30% of their strength and power. To put it simply, your body is weaker and slower, and your risk of injury skyrockets. Recovery becomes sluggish too. Muscles stay sore longer, glycogen stores don't refill properly, and your nervous system doesn't bounce back. That means every new workout feels harder than the last, and instead of progressing, you spiral into fatigue and plateaus. And then there's the mental side. Sleep deprivation wrecks your willpower and discipline. You're more likely to skip workouts, give in to cravings, or convince yourself you'll make it up tomorrow. But as we all know, tomorrow never comes if you can't stay consistent today. The damage doesn't stop at your physique either. Chronic poor sleep sets you up for serious long-term health problems, from obesity and diabetes to heart disease and even cognitive decline. So while poor sleep might seem harmless now, it's quietly stealing both your short-term progress and your long-term health. Actionable solutions. Now that you understand the destruction poor sleep can cause, the good news is that fixing your sleep isn't complicated. If you follow these 7 steps, the first step, set a consistent schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends, so your body learns when to release melatonin and prepare for deep rest. Second step, optimize your sleep environment. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. Blackout curtains, white noise, and cooler temperatures make a massive difference. Treat your bedroom like a recovery cave, not an entertainment center. Third step, limit blue light before bed. Phones, laptops, and TVs trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Avoid them for at least an hour before bed, or use blue light filters if you must use screens. Instead, try reading, journaling, or stretching. Fourth step, monitor caffeine and alcohol intake. Caffeine lingers in your system for hours, blocking deep sleep, while alcohol may knock you out but destroys REM sleep, leaving you groggy and unrefreshed. Fifth step, Manage stress effectively. High stress keeps cortisol high and your brain racing. Wind down with meditation, deep breathing, or writing out your next day's tasks so your mind can relax. Sixth step, use supplements wisely. Supplements can help, but only if habits are solid first. Magnesium is excellent for relaxation and muscle recovery. Chamomile tea can calm your system, and melatonin can help reset irregular sleep patterns, but they should enhance, not replace, the basics. Seventh step, aim for quality sleep. Finally, aim for 7 to 9 hours of real quality sleep. That's what most adults need, and athletes often need even more. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you can get by on 4 or 5 hours. You might survive, but you'll never thrive. So, what happens when you fix your sleep? When you start sleeping properly, the changes are dramatic. Testosterone rises, growth hormone surges, and cortisol drops. Your strength climbs faster, your recovery feels effortless, and fat loss speeds up. Cravings shrink, motivation grows, and discipline becomes easier. It's like unlocking a cheat code for your body. Suddenly, all the work you're putting in at the gym and the kitchen pays off 2 or 3 times faster. So here's the big takeaway. Poor sleep destroys your gains, but great sleep supercharges them. If you're serious about building muscle, losing fat, and transforming your body, then start treating sleep like the secret weapon it is. Progress doesn't just come from lifting heavier or eating cleaner. It comes from giving your body the recovery it desperately needs. Sleep is the ultimate anabolic tool, and it's free. Don't waste it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.